When the lights go up and the whistle blows, she's the calm in the storm, the one who knows. Behind every game, every call, every play, there's a wife holding it down every day. Welcome to Whistles and Wives, the MVPs behind the whistle.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for doing this, taking the time out of your busy day to join me in this first episode of Whistle and Wives. This is Beyond the Jersey with Miss Leah G. I do have a quick bio here that I took from your website. So I'm going to go ahead and read it if that's okay. And then you go ahead and add to it.
Let's see.
All right. So we have Mrs. Leah G, and she is a founder of Black Coaches Wives Collective and an absolute force in creating space for women like us to own our stories, build community, and take up some space on and off the field. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to maintain or rediscover who we are beyond the jersey, beyond our husband's titles, and beyond game days. So Leah will be sharing her journey of self-discovery, her leadership, and what it takes to stay grounded in a life that's always on the move. Did you want to say anything before we hop into these questions?
No, I think you got it all.
Sounds good. Okay.
I think we're good.
So I have an icebreaker question that I'm going to start off asking all of my guests. So if someone saw you at the game, what's something they wouldn't know about you just by looking at you?
Oh, that's a good one. Something they wouldn't know about me by just looking at me. I would say that I'm literally like going crazy on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like that calm on the surface.
Like I'm literally like going crazy.
Yeah. I get that.
Like you probably wouldn't be able to tell because chances are I'm looking at my kids, like trying to make sure they're good. But I'm still like internally, like every single play, every single touchdown or every single stop, I'm like on pins and needles.
So this is not a part of the questions, but just because you said that, like, are you a yeller? Are you a screamer? Or do you just hold it all inside?
I do both. I'm screaming when it's like really good, but when it's really like going badly, I'm like internalizing it, you know? So yeah, so I guess overall I'm like a yeller, like I love cheering, but I'm mute when things are going bad, even though I'm saying things to myself, you know?
I completely understand that. That's a discussion for a later time. I know. All right. So let's go ahead and hop into these questions. So before you became a coach's wife, who is Leah?
Okay. So my husband and I, we got married in 2018. He was, I guess, like 26. I may have been 29. He's 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. He is younger than me. So when we got married, so a little bit more background. I went to Tennessee State University for 2 years, and then I transferred to Michigan State. I played tennis at Tennessee State, but when I transferred to Michigan State, I wasn't playing any sports or anything.
So you started playing tennis at Michigan?
So I was studying
Did I hear that correctly?
I didn't play at Michigan. No, I played when I was at Tennessee.
Got it. Okay.
So I live in Nashville now, and some of the reasons I came back is because it kind of feels like home to me, but that's a whole later question. But so before my husband and I got married, I was an engineer for, I think at the time, Kraft Heinz. And I was traveling a lot, traveling around the world with my friends, we went to like Dubai and like Europe. I was doing all the girls' trips everywhere and really just focusing on like my career and taking PTO as much as I could. I was also an event planner and a wedding planner. So I was doing that on the side, and I planned destination weddings, all kinds of weddings and events. I've done things for different like NBA players. I've done things for NFL players. So still in the sports world, but more so planning their events and their charity events. And then also, like I mentioned, weddings and corporate events.
This is why your network is so deep. Like, yeah, how are you an engineer by day and then doing all of this on the side?
Girl, and I was working at BCW also. I was babysitting. I was just like, I want to make money. I want to make money. So I was just doing all the things. And I was like, okay, I'm spending so much money on shoes. I need to work somewhere where I can get a discount. So that's kind of how that was.
Well, one thing that I'm learning about you is that I think we have a lot of things in common. You seem to have a lot of different interests. I do. There's so many things that I catch myself doing. Like, I don't even know how I have the time. But one of the things that you mentioned too, your husband being younger than you. My husband is 2 years. He's a year younger than me. So,
okay,
you don't usually catch that, but it makes a difference, right?
It makes a difference. Okay.
All right. So this next question, let me just hop into it. Was there ever a moment where you felt you needed to rediscover or redefine who you are as a woman? And the reason why I ask that is because this coaching arena can become consuming and overwhelming, especially on us wives in the family. So is there ever a time you had to rediscover, redefine who you are?
What you probably know about me is when like I'm all in, or when there's a goal at hand, I'm like all in. I'm jumping off the cliff and I'm learning how to fly later. And I think because I actually encouraged my husband to go into coaching, we like jumped off the cliff and we had to kind of learn how to fly. Like there was really no like backup plan for that. So I kind of wrapped I wouldn't say like my life, but I kind of put things that I had going on pause to try and get him off the ground and figuring out what he wanted to do. So when I met my husband, he was in sales. He wasn't really happy in sales. So I'm like, okay, well, what are you good at? What do you want to do? And he was coaching at a high school at the time, like basketball. And I'm like, well, those kids love you. Like the way you're coaching, you're really reaching them. This is what you're good at. I'm like, you should get back into coaching. I didn't know everything that came with it for sure, but I came from a sports family. My brother played at Michigan, played football at Michigan. My other brother played at Northwestern. So I came from like a Big Ten football and I played tennis, a sports family. So I didn't know how much it would take, but I knew that this was something he was going to be good at and he would thrive. So I didn't want to like hold him back. So told him to go into coaching and he started interning at University of Michigan. I was like, text Coach Harbaugh, see if you can come back because my husband played there. We drafted up the text, sent it. He's like, come back. So he comes back. So now he's in Michigan. I'm in Chicago where we met. I'm driving back and forth to Michigan every 3 days from Chicago.
And how long is that drive?
Still working, everything. 5 hours basically. But I didn't want to miss everything. I didn't want him to feel like when they had events, his family wasn't there and that kind of thing. So I did a lot of things that maybe he didn't even expect me to do, but I like did it because I wanted to like show up and be supportive. And then also we were planning a wedding at this time. So I'm just giving you this background so that you can like see later why I made certain decisions. So then we go from Michigan to Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. When we were in Slippery Rock, I was flying out for work Monday through Thursday. I could live anywhere. Like to work Monday through Thursday, basically driving like an hour and a half to the airport. Literally like this is me working as a consultant now because I stopped working at Kraft because it just wouldn't work with the football life. I needed a job that was remote where I could like travel. So did that for quite some time. Had to kind of give up the weddings because it was just too much traveling with my job now, traveling almost 4 or 5 days a week and doing weddings. So I had to give that up. Then we went from Slippery Rock to West Virginia, Wesleyan, and I'm pregnant now. So now I'm completely isolated in West Virginia in the middle of nowhere and no restaurants, no nothing. But then COVID happens. And I'm telling you, I only lasted about a month out there. It was just too much. And I really wanted to make sure my postpartum was okay. Like I didn't want to fall into a depression or anything like that. Thank God for COVID. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but COVID allowed my husband to be home while I had a brand new baby. So, yep. So that's what we're doing. Then during COVID, my husband got a job with Fordham, which is where we are now. And he's been there for about 4 years. So now we're moving to New York. So I don't know, it's like move 5 or 6, moving to New York again with no family, but I love New York. So it's okay because I had lived there before. So
Leah, can we
your
frame
question
that for just
was
a
when have
second?
I like
So that was 4 or 5 moves in the span of how many years?
we moved like every year. So Michigan to Slippery Rock to West Virginia Wesleyan to Fordham. So it was basically 4 moves in 4 years. But then even in New York, we still moved 3 times, even though he's been in New York for 4 years. And I've done all those moves basically alone. Water.
Because their role is so demanding. It's like no days off.
I have pictures, and I'll send them to you after this call, of me literally moving boxes with a newborn strapped to me. I've done that twice. So now let's fast forward. And also, I have 3 children, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 5-month-old. I get very sick with each pregnancy. So there's more moves in between because I may be in New York, but then I get pregnant, I get really sick. I have to pretty much move back to my parents' house. And then when I feel better, I go back to New York. So I did that like 2 times. Okay, now back to your question. I just wanted to set the picture. So back to your question. When was there a time that I basically had to reinvent and kind of like choose myself in a little bit? A little. Yes. Is that kind of what the question was? Okay. So right now I'm in Nashville. My husband's in New York. And now is the time that I had to do that. That was not always the plan. The plan was, I had a job opportunity here in Nashville. I originally was going to just fly back and forth, like from New York to Nashville. I had looked up all the flights. I had looked up, all the details. And then long term, this would be like our home base and stuff like that. But I just had a really good job opportunity that I couldn't really pass up. And he understood that. But when things didn't really align, his career wise with mine, I'm like, we made the decision that I still should go to Nashville. So now I'm in Nashville and he's in New York. But a lot of that decision was because this is my 3rd baby. So after I've had my other children, I've had to immediately start traveling for work. And I didn't want to do that this time. I'm like, I want to have a postpartum where I can be home with my kid and work. I didn't want to be on the road for his first year, like his life. So that is a time when I had to kind of make a tough decision because yes, I'm a coach's wife, but I also am a mom and I'm Leah and I needed to do what would be best for like my mental health and my children.
All right. Thank you for that. I really appreciate the backstory too, because I think understanding the person as a whole and why certain decisions had to be made. And then also, just what's going to work well for the family, because that's one thing that I told my husband, if I move to all of these different areas where you're coaching, you're at work all the time, and I don't really want to be unhappy in that area. Yes, I'm happy because I'm with you, but I barely get you, because your job is so demanding. So
yeah,
I think that's a challenge that we all sort of face.
I mean, for me, it was, okay, you have to pick your heart. 3 kids in New York in a high rise that's over $4,000 a month with only 2 bedrooms, like 1,000 square feet or less, or move to Tennessee where my kids can have their own room, have a backyard, have some consistency, ride bikes, versus living in like a city.
Right.
Doing all of that alone. New York is a place for one child only. It's not a place for multiple children with a husband that works from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. It just wasn't feasible. Too much on one person. So I had to choose my heart, be here solo without his help or be in New York with his help, because my husband will help. He will get up every night with the kids and all those different things. He will take them when I need a break when he has the time. So be there when he could help, which was rare, but he would. And when I say rare, so physically with the kids helping. But like when he would come home and they're already asleep, he would like clean up and, do all those different things to help me have a better morning. So I'm like, okay, moving, I'm going to have to do all that stuff by myself and have the physical, care for them physically. But it's still easier being here. So I know it's tough on him being away from his kids because these moments you can't really get back. But, I kind of needed to do this to recalibrate. And I had been sacrificing every year I was in like survival mode. And I just did not want to be in that mode right now.
Right.
During postpartum.
That's a really critical time. How has your role as a coach's wife challenge or change your sense of self?
It definitely has changed my sense of self, because I think before he became a coach, although it was a short period of time of us knowing each other before he was a coach, I was used to being like the number one like priority. Whatever, she needs, I got it. You want some lunch at work? Okay, I'll bring you some lunch. Or we're going on a date this day, because that's the date that we want to go on, not because this is the date that the schedule allows. I was used to being like the number one, like most important thing. And when you are with a coach, you kind of aren't anymore.
No.
And people like to say, no, I'm still never. You're really not, though. Especially like the living apart thing. And I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but if we were like number one,
we wouldn't have to live apart.
If we didn't want to move, then we wouldn't be living apart. So that's the difference. Whereas before I was like, well, we can go wherever you want to go, not that he's like a follower, but it's just like your happiness is the most important thing. So how do we make sure you're happy? And being married to a coach is not that.
No, being married to a coach definitely creates a whole other layer. Priorities, scheduling, availability, all of the above. Mm-hmm. A topic for another episode, but it just makes me kind of think, friends and family. Do they always understand like what that means? Or, we won't go all the way there right now. But yes, yeah, definitely.
That's a whole nother story. But I will say this: my best friend, her father was a basketball. Well, yeah, he's retired now. Was a basketball coach in college, and when her mom found out that my husband was going to be coaching, she said, "Are you prepared to be a single wife?"
Really?
And I was like, "Huh?" And I understand exactly what she means now. So there we go.
And I thank you for bringing that up too, because we do have some wives whose coaches or husbands are in basketball. So I'm slowly learning about that area too. I want to learn more. So what inspired you to start the Black Coaches Wives Collective? Because first, when I got introduced to it, I was at the convention, and this was, I guess, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. And I think it was your second baby. What's your second baby's name? I'm sorry. Ace. I think you had just had him. Mm-hmm. And I had baby fever at the time, but I sat close because I was like, let me just try to absorb some of this baby energy right now. But yes, tell us about how you started and the reason behind why you started Black Coaches Wives Collective.
So as I mentioned, like when I have a goal or like a plan, I like dive all the way in. So there's a couple reasons like behind starting BCW. One, it was actually an event at Michigan, and I was not invited to it because my husband was an intern. And I was like, that's not cool. Like, y'all invite me to everything else, the baby showers, everything we're up to bring the gift, but I'm not invited to this. And it was fun. So it was like a concert. They had a suite. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, I get it, though, because these staffs are huge. So sometimes it's only just like position coaches that it's only space for. So I get it. But I was like, I don't like that feeling. Like, I've never not been invited to something. So I want to create my own thing where, for everybody. Like, I don't want it to be where because you're not on this level, you can't come, or here's the hierarchy, you can't come because of this. I wanted it to be for everything. And then I also realized that women of color and, minorities, we have a little bit of a different experience when it comes to this coaching thing and living and being married to a coach. So I was thinking about that also. But then as it started to grow from 3 people to 300 along that way, I'm like, this is an amazing network we're building. It became people becoming friends, and girl, my husband's interviewing with the Jets. Okay, so that means his position is going to be open with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So shoot, can your husband pass my husband's resume on? So it became a network. So now I'm like, well, this could be a way for me to be able to help my family. So now I've got my girls that I can chit chat with who understand the struggle, because again, you don't want to complain about being with the coach to people who are not with coaches. They won't understand it at all.
And the advice or whatever they say is not going to be in alignment.
The wrong advice can ruin your life. So you want to talk with people who get it, who knows, okay, she's just tripping because he said he was going to be here at 5 and now it's 7. I get it. She'll be okay tomorrow, you know? So that is another reason why I started it. So really just building like the community and then building the network. And I know that everyone is not going to necessarily vibe with me and my personality, but there's going to be someone in that chat that you click with and you're going to find something in common with, and you're going to have a friend to walk you through those different seasons. So that's kind of why I started it. And then I met so many cool girls along the way. We put an e-board together, and they've really kind of been driving it forward, because as a coach's wife, you know, you're busy and you know, you go through different seasons while your husband is going through his seasons. So my seasons, when I'm down, this e-board comes together and they continue moving things forward. When I don't have the energy or the capacity to manage a check-in call or be the support that I want to be to everyone, these other people kind of step up and do it. And then when I'm back on top, okay, I can do it again. So that is why I started it.
Awesome. And we are grateful for you for starting it. There are many times where I go into the chat and try and catch up, but usually we have a good topic going on, or a question or a thought or just inspiration. I participated in one of the fitness groups, and that was pretty fun too. So
yeah. So I wanted to create like an area for people to be like vulnerable. So in this industry, you know, there are certain things you cannot say. There are things you can't say publicly. There are certain things, even if you want to say it, you can't. So you have to kind of keep it all in. But I wanted to create a space where it's like, hey, you can be vulnerable here. This is a safe space. And we're all kind of like family. And then I also created smaller groups. So like you mentioned, the fitness group, the mommy group, the Bible study group. Then we also have the different regions. So some people thrive better in smaller groups and not necessarily communicating with 300 women at one time. So the smaller groups, again, just building different communities. And like we have a real good group in Memphis. They're all high school, college, like professional, everything. And they do so many meetups. And it's like, cool, now I have somebody in my area because I'm moving to all these different states. When I get there, I automatically have community.
Right.
Which is hard to get when your husband's moving. I don't know if you've touched on it on your podcast yet, but moving so much as a coach's wife or as a coach, always having to start over. Some people don't thrive in that.
Right. It's coming. The topic
so
is on the
start.
Yes, the topic is on the list, that transitions piece. I have fortunately not had to transition myself. But yes, I know that is a major challenge for a lot of us. What would you say to the woman who feels like she is just the wife in that coach's community, in that coach's town, or even just at the games?
I think I have two perspectives. So just a wife, I don't think there's anything wrong with being just a wife. Like if your husband's in a position to take care of you guys and all you have to do is be a wife and chill and relax and go make homemade pasta or whatever your heart desires, live in that. I feel like sometimes, and I think a lot of African American women don't let people take care of them.
Yeah.
Like we always have to be doing something. Like, oh, I need to contribute to the family. I need to contribute to the house. You being there is you contributing.
Yeah.
You're supporting him. Now,
that might be an unpopular
obviously,
opinion, but a good one, right?
Yeah. Hey, if you can, I was with a wife out here in Tennessee. She's like, yeah, I was like, do you work outside the home? She's like, no. And I was like, oh, congratulations, girl. Like, if you can chill. She's like, well, it wasn't always like that. I did this. I'm like, I'm not saying that as like prove to me what you did to earn that spot.
Right.
Because you don't have to earn that spot. Like, you don't have to prove to me that you worked corporate and did all this. You're enough. You deserve to relax, you know? But then to the woman who maybe was forced out of her job and didn't really want to let go, because we do have some women in our group that are extremely ambitious and have these really nice, high paying jobs and things like that. But with moving, you kind of maybe forced out of it. I would say get back to it. So if you want to work and you want to create this other identity and feel like you're contributing, if you want to, get back into it. Find consulting roles. Do what makes you happy. Now, for the woman who feels like she's just a wife, but not really caring about the career, but just kind of feels like empty, travel. If your husband is on the road and you don't necessarily want to go with him, go on a girls trip. We have a girls trip coming up with BCW to Scottsdale. Just want to throw that out there. Do things that make you happy. Like me, yes, I just had a baby, but I work out 6 days a week. So I find time to have my time. Like that's my time.
Right.
So I think it's just important to find things to do for yourself so that you reach your own goals. Set goals. You could be a stay-at-home wife and still have goals.
Absolutely.
But if you're a stay-at-home wife, it's no shame because that's my goal.
It's my goal too. I can't wait.
That's my goal. Maybe I don't move around the world. That's
Right.
my goal.
And I'm gonna work out every day.
Yep. Every day.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. How do you stay connected to who you are, especially during, well, the question is during football season, but I think in this, even recruiting season is busy. But yeah, how do you stay connected just to yourself when things really pick up, I guess?
During the season, I would say I can't do anything too extreme, like because childcare is expensive. So I can't do anything too extreme where my husband's going to be working these crazy long hours. But I can try different recipes. I can work out, even if it requires me now to get there at 5 a.m. because he has to leave the house at 6. It still takes a little bit of sacrifice. I just try and do things that I want to do, but it's really difficult during the season. I really kind of take advantage more so when he's off. Like this year, I'm going to Greece with my friends in July. That's his off time. Because that's his off time. And yes, we should be spending as much time together as we can. But this is like the only opportunity that I have to go do something with like my friends without having to pay so much for childcare.
Right.
So I think I just hold on. I plan trips. Even though I can't go on them during the season, I plan the trips. And it gives me something like to look forward to.
I like that idea. You mentioned cooking too. I'm gonna have to incorporate that. Travel is always my last, I guess, main and friends.
Right. Like talking to them, the check-ins, literally I talk on the phone nonstop if I'm not working. It may be a little loud in the background, but I try to make sure I can get like my little chit chats in with my friends.
Okay. If you had to write your own, I guess, name on the back of your jersey, who reflects who you are today, what would it say?
That's a very difficult question because who I am today, I would say coach. I'm a coach too, because when our husbands are away, I'm coaching the kids. Hey, do this, do that. When they are struggling emotionally, hey, you're a winner. You can do this, you can do that. And I didn't mention this, but I'm also in the process of like starting to manage coaches and like building up a company around that. It's a slow process, but just kind of putting things in place. And I'm coaching these other guys as well. Hey, you need to do this. You need to apply for this bill wash. You need to apply for this, a scouting internship. Fix your resume here. So I would definitely say I'm a coach. I may be like an assistant coach to my husband, but I'm still a coach.
Tell us more about, I guess, where you mentioned that you're going down this new endeavor, but tell us more about that. And then also, this is the moment for any shameless plugs you have. What else do you have going on? Where can everyone find you? Where do you want them to follow you? All of it.
Yes. Okay, so I would say this. I'm really an open book. And I know that probably is not the best thing because when people say, hey, how you doing? I'm not always going to say, oh, I'm good. I'm going to say, well, and I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. You're like, well, that's a lot. So if you follow me on social media, that is what you're going to get. I don't have like the prettiest, feed of everything looking the same and all of my things perfectly, edited. That's not me. I kind of tell how it is. And right now my Instagram is leahg.mgmt. So Leah G Management. And also Black Coaches Wives at Black Coaches Wives. And you said, what else I have going on? So still an engineer and just kind of tapping into that NFL, collegiate management of like coaches. But right now I'm kind of scoping, learning, and putting together like a plan, putting together a team. So right now we have a team that does like real estate because there's so many different transitions. We have someone that will help with like your social media management because a lot of coaches are using Twitter and they have to have a good following on Twitter to be considered for some roles.
Right.
We have people that do analytics, and all of these ladies, it's a team of ladies, have come from BCW. We have so much talent within our group. I'm like, what can I do to put money in this girl's pocket? What can I do to put money in this girl's pocket who maybe is no longer working, but still has these talents and these gifts? So we have a girl that can do analytics, Jody. She looks at high school film and basically tells these kids, okay, you have a opportunity to go to maybe D2 at these different schools. This is what type of kid, they're looking for. So just kind of piecing together the puzzle right now. Because once we launch it for real, it's going to be like explosive. It's going to be a one-stop shop. And then also, as I mentioned, the network. So if your husband's interviewing somewhere, I'm not going to go say, hey, it's a spot open where he's interviewing, but where he's leaving. Right. Because I still have the whole loyalty thing. Okay, he's leaving. So would you mind passing the resume? Does your husband mind passing the resume on? So that's how I feel like I'll have the inside scoop about movement before it hits the fan, as long as it's okay with, the wives. I don't want people to think, oh, because I'm telling her this, she's going to go do this, another. No, loyalty is number one for me. I would never do anything or give anyone's information away or anything without everyone like agreeing to it. And also, I was doing this before I even wanted to become a manager. So if you told me your husband was having a hard time finding a job, I'm trying to help him find one with you. And with football, you're up and down. So you may be getting a job this year, but you may be down next year. And you may need me to ask someone, can you pass this resume along? Right. So it's supposed to just be like the gift that kind of keeps on giving. We help each other out.
Leah, I just want to thank you so much for all the work that you have done in pulling us all together. I got to see you live in action with connecting all the wives and speaking life to us, those of us that are struggling in the moment, and being that connection piece. Yeah. Send me your resume. Let me see what yours looks like. Maybe we can fix this, all of that stuff. So that's really a testament to your, just who you are and what I've been today about you. And I appreciate you even taking time out of your busy day to meet with me and do this episode, and let everybody know that I'll be having some more episodes. And I'm probably going to ask you to come back too, so we can talk about some of those other topics we touched on.
Listen, I'll come anytime. I mean, you all kind of hold me accountable when I want to like be down. It'll be like, hey, you got to check in tonight. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get some energy from somewhere to, pull myself out of whatever funk I'm in and show up and support these ladies some kind of way. So I appreciate you for being a part of the group and like pouring into it and taking it for what it is. So I tell people, if you're in a group and you don't put anything in, you get nothing out. But if you're engaging and, meeting people and talking to them, you're going to get support and you're going to get other things. Like out of the group, I was able to plan an event for a Hornets player. Someone's cousin was a Hornets player, and now they're putting money in my pocket, and putting me in position to win. So again, what you put in is what you get out. So I encourage any other wives that are listening to this podcast, tap in, please. Mm-hmm. And thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you for joining us. If this episode of Whistles and Wives spoke to you or you enjoyed it, please subscribe, write a review, like, comment, or share with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.